7% of all high school athletes go on to play in college. As proud members of the 93% that didn't, this is Fratleets.
All right, welcome back to Fratleets. It's been a little bit since all three of us have been on the pod. We've been kind of making videos recently, shorter ones. We got a pretty good episode. We got some playoff rankings, I guess. Well, not rankings, playoff recap on what's been happening, the good and bad. We've got some Hayden's corner, and then rakes and takes as always to take us home. So how's it been, guys? It's been a little minute. Well, Sini, I assume I know how you're doing.
We're having a great Monday, Zach.
I actually am having a pretty good Monday. I will say, last night slept pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm honestly like, I feel a lot better than I thought I would, to be honest. But I'm not happy by any means. But I'm not this doesn't hurt near as bad as the Ohio State loss, in my opinion. Just
Really,
that Ohio State loss really hurt. Yeah.
I could see that.
Do you
Especially
want
seeing
like?
how Georgia just shitted on TCU, and it could have been us.
Yeah. Do you want me to wait to talk about that, or?
No, actually, let's get into that. I guess we'll kind of start. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's go start with the playoff recap with a little Chiefs versus Bengals action.
Yeah, anything on your mind, on your chest that you want to express or anything?
Live from Burrowhead.
So okay, I feel like one of the reasons this doesn't hurt as bad as Ohio State is like a bunch of like I want to make sure I word this correctly. The fans being an Ohio fan, like okay, I notice the amount of haters that I have, like seeing how like people love to see like me fail and my teams fail, right? Being a sports person sucks. At the end of the fucking day, it absolutely sucks because there's only one team that gets bragging rights at the end of the year. At one point, your back is against the wall regardless, and you got the whole league rooting against you. And Ohio State, as an Ohio State fan and Bengals fan, we fucking asked for it. Like we do this shit to ourselves. It literally, we do this to ourselves. We shoot it in the foot. Like that shit the mayor posted, y'all. Do you think we were proud of that? Like seriously?
That was one of those things where that was truly one of the first times that I've ever seen like a mayor or something. Because usually they do those little bet things where like before big games, they'll be like, "I'll wear your jersey and like you wear mine, depending on the winner." That was the first time I've genuinely seen one, and the own fans were like, "What the hell are you doing?" And they like Cincinnati fans were in his comments like, "Bro, chill." Like, and he posted an apology underneath it like 20 minutes later. He was like, I seem to have gotten ahead of myself with my competitiveness. Everyone's like, bro, if we lose, like, what happened? They lost, and what did Travis Kelce immediately say the second he got a microphone?
And that's the Burrowhead. The Burrowhead was something that was blown out of proportion, but look at what it turned into. Like this was something that should have been like a comment, was meant to be a small comment, just like talking shit to Bills fans, and turned out being a giant circle on the fucking board as for fuel to this fire under their ass. And it doesn't like I'm not like hating on Chiefs fans for acting like they beat us by like 6 touchdowns, because some of these celebrations after the game, it feels like they absolutely like beat the shit out of us. And I'm not sitting here. Notice how I haven't said one thing about the referees and any of the calls made, because it was a 2020 game with our ball under the 2-minute warning. Yeah, we're inside the 10-yard line. Yeah, there's a controversial roughing the passer that could have been called compared to some of the roughing the passers that has been called this year. But moral of the story, you had a chance to win the game. We had multiple chances to win the game. I don't blame Joseph Asai at all. The 22-year-old kid that played his heart out the whole game. Pratt probably just ruined any sort of chance of getting another contract with the Bengals, showing his emotions like that, and the true kind of player that he was. Like, we do this to ourselves, man. Like, talking the amount that we talked before an AFC championship game, like, yeah, we won the AFC North. We won the divisional, but what did you really – you won 2 playoff games. We're a team – we have no Super Bowl. We have never won a Super Bowl. Like, there's just you should be the team. You should be the team that stays lit, acting like that underdog mentality and that underdog mentality
That's where
from the Bills game, from all previous playoffs games. There was such a different like lead up to this game to where like the Bengals were actually feeling like the underdogs and took it to heart, acting like the underdogs to where like now just like players and fans acted like we're on top of the world and we haven't won shit, y'all. Like that's what drives me nuts.
I think that was what I was going to bring up. I think that was the biggest difference I saw between like the Bengals, and that's why I thought the Chiefs were going to win this game because going into every like game that the Bengals have like in the postseason the past 2 years, every single one was okay. The Bengals have something to prove. The Bengals have something to prove. Like there's all these hate against them. Whereas this was the first time where it was like do the Bengals like what are they doing? Like they're acting like they've already won this game. And that was the first time it felt like last year and stuff, it felt like the Chiefs have already thought they won the game. And that was the first time going into a game that I thought, even against the Ravens, because of the AFC North, like fans and stuff, like we're saying, like, yeah, we just got to beat Huntley, but like players kept saying, like, we got to still beat these guys. Where like this week felt like it was more like, yeah, we're whooping their ass. And like before the game even started.
If you play this back, you will watch me have like the biggest smile on my face because like this is my main thing that I just can't stand about the Bengals. And like I'm not saying you see because you being able to say it shows you are a level-minded, like logical fan. But like in my past history of like being in Ohio, Bengals fans will like when they suck, they will hide in the trees and like not talk or any shit whatsoever. Like Browns fans always like know their team's always gonna suck and still always fuck Pittsburgh, we're gonna fuck you up. Those fans kind of go away, and then when they're good a little, they come out of nowhere. I'm like, yeah, I'm ride or die. We're going to Super Bowl. We're gonna win it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like chill out. You haven't done anything. It's also like I wonder how much less people would hate the whole Bengals if just Eli Apple stopped talking.
And I do think that's where it began. I really will say that. And I think that's where it's a little unfair, some of the criticism that some of the Bengals got, because, like, as soon as Eli Apple started talking, like what you said, like the Burrowhead thing, if Eli Apple isn't on there, like, like trash talking all this stuff, then everything the Bengals said after, people are like, oh, that's trash talk, like bulletin board material. Whereas I feel like, had there really not been trash talk, and Burrowhead was just like thrown out there casually like it was, it would have just been like, LOL, that's so funny. And maybe someone would have made the comment, like a slight comment after the game. But it became, like you said, see, like a circle. Like it just felt like for some reason, like they just circled that. And I agree. I think a lot of it, just because of Eli Apple, who he is as a person, like just who he is, like on social media, he's the guy who's always going to talk. So then people are like, oh, if he's talking, clearly everyone on the Bengals is talking. Whereas you have to realize that that's what Eli Apple does. He's the Pat Bev of the NFL for a reason.
And like talking shit to the Bills players, being like have fun in Cancun and like now
I'm
like
not gonna lie, that was so. No, I personally thought that was really funny.
oh I mean it's
Like,
funny as shit, but like it's gonna definitely cause like even
yeah,
other
no.
players to hate you. Like and that's not even their team.
I also the whole like Bengals fans thing. I think it's like the same thing that kind of happens every year with one team. And like the Ravens were in 2019, where once you start getting the bandwagon fans on for like the playoff push, they're the majority of the ones that are out there just talking recklessly because like they didn't have to sit there and struggle through the tough years. Like where like they've been a fan for like less than 6 months. And I feel like those are the fans that really talk shit. It's not the ones who have sat there and actually like grown up loving the team and everything.
It just hurts, dude. Like being a sports fan in general, like I said, I'm just like I'm so
Set you up with
tired
Perry.
of I'm so tired of seeing the like we'll be back next year tweets. Like I'm so tired of seeing that
Yeah.
because it's probably like Ohio State, it's championship or bust every single year, and since 2015, like it's just been we'll be back next year. We'll be back next year. We'll be back next year. Now the Bengals are that team to where I have two teams to where like at least with the Reds, like I have no expectations, very low. Like I'm rooting for a top 5 fucking pick in the draft, man. Like I'm okay with sucking, I guess. I don't. It's weird. Like I like being up there. I
Yeah.
like being championship or bust, but 2 just huge. Like it's gonna affect my mood for a week. Like you know what I mean? Like
There's a price to pay for your team being good. Like expectations, like there's a price for being a fan of a team with expectations. Like this whole year, like me with the Orioles, like we didn't make the playoffs, but we were supposed to be the worst team. So like we did something and came up short, and we were all like, that was super cool. But if we miss the playoffs now this year, I'm gonna be like, what the hell's going on? So it's like suddenly there's pressure. So like games that wouldn't have affected me before, like if we blow a lead in the ninth, like last year, I'd be like, whatever. Like we're supposed to be the worst team ever. Whereas this year, I'm like, we gotta get our shit together. Like what's going on? Like someone's got to be cut. Someone's got to be, and like there genuinely are like being a fan of a good team is harder than like I swear being a fan of a notoriously bad team because there's no expectations. When the Orioles are in last, someone will make a joke about the Orioles being in last, and I'll be like, dude, we're in a permanent rebuild. Like, what do you expect? Like, that's just like you're just like, obviously we suck. Like, you're telling me I'd watch them. Whereas when you're good and you get told you suck, you're like, this hurts. Like, because you know you don't.
another thing that I realized from last night is the amount of haters that I have, man. Like people truly love to see me upset about my teams. They do. They do. And I really think like it's all like people that are close to me, like just that talk shit. Like I know it's all fun and games, but like they understand how like truly upset I get about it and they want the reaction and I fall for the bait every fucking time. Like I don't care. Like it pisses me off. Just and they know it pisses me off. And I mean, I got to be better. But you'd have thought I played quarterback last night. The amount of people that I had talking shit to me last night. Like it's just, I'm dramatic. I get it. Like I tried to see light at the end of the day, but God, dude, you would have thought that I was on the team.
Dude, honestly, to piggyback off that, one of my favorite moments of this whole playoffs was betting the Jaguars money line as a joke when they were down to the Chargers, just like give you shit, and then winning a bunch of money because they actually came back.
Dude, I won. I did win $10 to like 160 that night solely because of that joke bet. And that field goal was so bittersweet because I knew how good it felt for me, but I knew on the other side how devastating that was for you, Cini. And I remember being like, I think in the group chat, I sent like, let's go. And then I was like, so sorry, Cini. I was like, this feels so good for me, but I'm so devastated that like you lost that after being up so much.
What was your highest cash out option? Did you ever see?
For like $4 off of what it would have paid out.
Damn.
But like,
well, it's
the,
like
the thing, the, gambling and football, like gambling and sports in general, it's all meant to be fun. Like it's all meant to be fun. If like taking it way too seriously is just like when. But like at the end of the day, I'm not a Chargers fan, so who like. Yeah, like losing money on a game sucks like that, but it's meant to be fun. It's meant for the role. What are you fucking laughing at, Hayden? Like, what?
Like normally you're just like so into it, so invested. It's like ride or die, and then you lose. You're like actually, it's all about fun, guys. Like it's all about like
yeah, no, that's how I feel.
It doesn't even matter. Like, dude, I fucking know you were sick.
See, this is the shit that this happened like a month ago. This is the shit that I'm talking about, bro. Like people just love to see me fail and be pissed. Like
it's not. I don't want to see you be
example.
pissed. I don't want to see you be pissed. I just want to see you rant and call the Chargers like just call them what they are. Call them frauds and just like go
okay.
in
Do you my true emotions with that moment? Like, are you kidding me? LA, like Chargers as a fan base. Like I am not a fan of this team, but could you imagine? Like I lost like some money on that game. Could you imagine how like being a fan of that team and just seeing that actual like loss is brutal. Like the Bengals lost on a last second field goal, but it wasn't blowing a 30-point lead. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
the Chargers,
That arguably hurts worse than what the Bengals went through. Like when it's neck and neck compared to blowing a lead, like it's way worse.
like the Chargers went fucking balls to the wall this offseason and spent so much money to build this championship team, and now they're sitting around firing their entire coaching staff and like just starting over like this year. Like, yeah, they're gonna be good again next year, but what as a fan of that team, what are your hopes? Yes, Hayden, I was very upset over that at the time, but like looking back on it, it's not like I wagered away rent money or anything.
Right,
Like,
right.
I will say the Charger. What just is crazy to me about that Chargers game is I think they ran the ball 4 times in the second half. The Chargers, and like that right there, just running it like 10 more times almost guaranteed them the win. Like you only have so much time to score 30 points. And that's including you not scoring. Like just running the ball and wasting 5 minutes of possession and then punting, they would have won the game. Like they had to try to throw incompletions, to keep calling passes, keep stopping the clock. And this, I don't know. I also unfortunately think that may have started a very unfortunate run of Trevor Lawrence being just a problem in the playoffs, doing stuff like that, where he just like pulls 1 or 2 wins out of nowhere. I don't know, just because it's the Jaguars, I don't know if they'll ever make it to like the big game, but like I could definitely see Trevor Lawrence making a career of he's gonna beat the first team in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
honestly I wish at least I could say about Lamar. So like it's not that big of an upset.
I still can't believe you called the Jaguars were in the AFC South because, like, I thought they were going to be absolutely poop. Like, I didn't know they were going to be good at all. And now, like you said,
I got laughed at for that. I did get laughed at for that.
You did. You did. And we fucked around and we're finding out now. But, like, for them not only to not be poop, but to now that I think that they're going to be a problem in the future for, like, years to come is the exact opposite of what I thought.
Mhm. Okay, let's move into I guess the other kind of game that we can all talk about. Why the hell did we quarterback sneak from the 2.5 yard line? Ravens Bengals game. That to this, like for the rest of my life, that picture of Tyler Huntley reaching the ball across and he's still a yard short of the goal line will live in my head forever. Because I was just like, the picture's funny because like the context, you're like, what's going on? Like if you have, and then you find out it's a tied playoff game in the fourth. Like, talk about just brutal. I will admit I was at like a mountain weekend with there was 15 of us. Every single one of us was standing at the television. People had phones out to record the touchdown. Like we were about to go nuts. Like it was like Tyler Huntley had just gotten to the 2. We were just losing our shit. We're like, everyone get ready. And then he goes up and you see the ball go the other way. And like, there were 2 reactions. Like, there was silence. And then there were those who just started laughing. Like, that was all we could do. I just started laughing because I thought that sealed the deal for Greg Roman. But I was just like, after everything we've done this year, like all the times we've had a huge lead and blew them, all the times we were just there and couldn't do it, like that play epitomized the entire Ravens season. We were on the 1 and 2 yard line, and instead of scoring, we gave up a fumble 6, which is just, I could not believe it. I will say that was up there for worst plays I've ever experienced in my life, like live. Like to happen against my team, just demoralizing. That was rough.
Yeah, this is honestly one of the best playoffs experiences I've had where my team wasn't in the playoffs. Because not only did the 2 teams in the AFC North lose, the Dallas Cowboys lost, and it was just fantastic to see them implode like no other. Like, not only did they lose, but like now everyone hates Dak even more than possible. Jerry Jones has to like talk to the kicker on the field pregame to get him ready. Like, it's a total shit show, and it makes me so happy.
I have this weird theory. So you know how the first extra point got blocked on that, but everyone like saw it was clearly he shanked it. I think had it not been blocked and he straight up missed it, I think he was missing the rest of his kicks. I think it almost the block helped him because he was like, okay, that was like they blocked that. I had no chance. Like if he would have shanked it again, like you're done. They're not going for it.
Psychological warfare with himself.
Yeah, like there's just no way if that's not blocked. I think the block saved him. I really do. But like you said, what a weird situation.
Another one. I don't know if you guys like saw this or maybe it was just me, but that last second field goal with the Chiefs. I was in a bar and there wasn't a lot of people in there. Like it was dead quiet. Like you could hear a pin drop when this final field goal was going off. I don't know why. I know it was a 41-yard field goal, but I saw the ball like 5 yards in the end zone, and I thought he kicked it short. So did you guys see that though? Like it bounced off of the mat and then bounced on the field. So I see the ball, which in my mind I was like, there's no way he just like kicked it short. But my reaction watching the game, I yelled, like I physically went like this and then yelled, "He's short! It's short!" And then there was like 3 people laughing at me behind me, but I was like way too pissed to care. But yeah, that's the last thing I want to say about the Chiefs Bengals game because it was kind of embarrassing. But a part of me really like not only did it like hurt, but that kind of made it a little bit worse because a part of me genuinely thought he kicked it short for a minute. Like I don't know if it was dead air that caught it.
But my wife audibly gasped because she thought he had missed it.
So I can't relate to that like in that moment like with that much on the line because this is a regular season game, but extremely the 67-yard field goal that Tucker missed short against Jacksonville, I started celebrating when he kicked it because it looked so good and he was like 4 yards short. Like I started celebrating. I was like, when Tucker hits it online, I'm like, he doesn't pull anything short. Like I don't care, it's 67. We could put it from 80. I'd expect him to hit it. But I can imagine like I was jumping up thinking we won, and then like I saw the Jaguars running on the field, and I was like, "There's no way." I was like, just when you think a field goal goes a different way, or when the worst is when it starts hooking, and you're like, "He's gonna miss," and then it just goes through against your team. That's the worst. When you think when it goes in the air and it doesn't look online, that split second of hope of, "Oh my God, did he miss it?" is the worst thing.
Yeah. The only other thing I had to say about the Cowboys was that, like, I think it's so funny. Not only are certain players like, yeah, if we wouldn't have thrown 2 interceptions, we probably would have won. But like, even the team's own Twitter account was like, after 2 Dak Prescott interceptions, we fell short. I was like, oh my God, bro, I've never seen that ever.
Because like teams, journalists are still like PR. Like you're still PR. You work for the team. You are PR. Someone had to be fired. Who was like not only made that the headline, but was like, let's tweet it. Like they were like it's okay to have that story like on your website and like someone finds it, it's like, oh, this is up there. But to tweet it, knowing that one, you're the Cowboys and every spam account ever follows you to like harass you. And for them to tweet it, I feel like they tweeted it and 10 minutes later it was like trending. Like it was like that. The second they tweeted it, everyone was like, reporters were like, there's no way this just happened.
No, I really think the only logical explanation was like Jerry Jones like tapped the dude who writes the tweets on the back. He's like, step aside, buddy, I got this one. He typed it out himself, bro. That's all that could have happened.
Jerry Jones is upstairs in the press box just going at it after a game. He's like, there's got to be some change. He's like sitting there typing. He's typing. He's like, what more could owner Jerry Jones do?
I really think, as he said, that like he wants to see them win one more Super Bowl before he dies. I think after that game, he's like, it's not gonna fucking happen. He's like, I'm gonna croak before we win this shit.
Without a doubt, dude. That's kind of the same, completely different sport, but that's the same thing with the Orioles owner right now. And people are like, please sell the team. He's 97, and we're like, what do you see is happening in this year? Like, come on, dude, sell the team. Like, dude.
Do you remember any of the games?
Dude, facts. They don't even do anything. All right, I will say this, kind of not like a Super Bowl preview. I I did last night felt like just for some reason like the second place game. Just I think it was going to be a really good game. Something about the Eagles right now just feels like they're just going to go in there, and I think they're going to beat the Chiefs by potentially like two scores. I just think they're that good right now. They're that hot. They got everything clicking. Like they really don't have injuries. Like there's no major player that they've lost. Like Bengals, like they lost a Awuzie. Like there were pieces like throughout the year that you missed. Like the Eagles have stayed so healthy throughout this season where it's just like you gotta give it to them. Like they went for it this year with like the AJ Brown and all that, and like it's paying off.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up to you, C. Is like honestly, like you might not want to hear this, but it might be better to lose the AFC Championship this year because like if the Chiefs were like blowing up like a couple of your guys in the O line pretty handedly, the Eagles defense, especially their defensive linemen, are like the best in the league, if not the best in the league. So it's honestly better to get rid of it now. You know, Burrow's not going to take 7 more sacks than he would have. He doesn't have any more increase of injury than he would have. You know, so it's like, it's honestly,
It's also
after all
Burrow's
the injuries,
first.
it probably wasn't your year anyway this year because those D linemen are so good and would have potentially caused further trouble for the program on top of losing.
Yeah, I just
It's
think
a lot of
Eagles are
it's a lot of
solid.
what ifs. I mean, I guess I see what you're saying, but at the end of the day, I want a shot at the Super Bowl every single time.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I
Without a doubt, you
kind
want to
of
take your guys.
It just spins down for you. Give a spin
I
zone.
really haven't looked too far into the Super Bowl, to be honest. I'm still dwelling on the Bengals, but as of right now, I would pick the Chiefs, and that might be crazy, but I don't know.
Would that make you feel better?
Watching
like,
Mahomes yesterday. Say what?
Would that make you feel better, like knowing that you lost to the team that won it all?
I guess the thing with the Eagles, dude, and I just keep eating my own words, like, but the Eagles had an insanely easy schedule, and they still have had an insanely easy path in the playoffs. And I know I can't sit here and say
Extremely.
that this team is frauds. Like I can't sit here and say this team is frauds, but something about me just hasn't believed in the Eagles. And I know they're in the Super Bowl. I still don't believe in the Eagles. Like
I did until the playoffs, but the way that they're playing right now, I agree with what you're saying. They've had an extremely easy path to the Super Bowl,
right.
but they're just so healthy right now. Like that's just hard, especially with Mahomes.
Yeah.
And don't worry, you have the Pro Bowl to get you hyped for. So no, it's gonna be an easy hangover recovery. You're not looking forward to the Super Bowl.
Tyler
You got the
Huntley.
Pro Bowl coming up.
Tyler Huntley's going to be in the Pro Bowl, which
Dude, no fucking way.
Tyler Huntley is because Mahomes and Burrow, one was going to the Super Bowl and the other like Burrow's not going to the Pro Bowl right now. You think he's going to be like, let me go, and then Lamar, Herbert, and Tua are all injury. They're not playing, so it goes to the fourth alternate, which is Tyler Huntley.
So they already released the alternates?
Yeah, they were released early. So really, if you think about it, though, makes the Bengals postseason run look better. Beat an all or a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Well, because I was thinking, oh, shut the fuck up. Because I was trying to find like information about it because someone told me that Pat Fryermuth and Cam Hayward are now going to the Pro Bowl because they were alternates.
Well, yeah, but there were that was like they'll be announced very soon, but he was announced like way before because players were already injured at the quarterback position. Okay. Yeah, so like now they have to do Fryermuth will because now Kelsey can't and like stuff like that. So yeah, no, they'll get in. But this was like way before because Lamar and all them were already like looking like they wouldn't be playing. They announced that Huntley would be the alternate.
Dude, I'm about to look up something real quick. Let me look up the stats for Tyler Huntley this year. If they're dumb,
they are dumb. What are you talking about? Yes, they're dumb.
Dude, Kenny Pickett has way better stats than him.
Yeah, of course.
Why would they put Purdy in there?
The Pro Bowl's been a fucking Do people still really care about the Pro Bowl? Like,
It's a resume builder. It's like doing extracurriculars in high school. Like it doesn't
But here's
matter.
the thing. Here's the thing. Do you know if you're elected to the Pro Bowl and you decline it or make it to the Super Bowl, it go or miss it for injury, they don't give you the Pro Bowl on your record. So yeah, because Joe Flacco is a 0-time Pro Bowler because the 2 times he made it, he said he'd rather spend time with his family. And that haunts me sometimes. That haunts me sometimes because it's like I look at it, I'm like, bro, why didn't you just say yes so we could have that on the resume? Like, just bite the bullet for 2 weeks. Like, come on, dude. But yeah, if you one, it's fan voted, so that by itself just takes out all credibility. And then, yeah, the fact that I love it though. I love it. I think Tyler Huntley deserved it over Pickett. I think if you really look at,
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
you're telling me you would take. I'm not even gonna say it. I would try
Because
to.
I would take Kenny Pickett over Tyler Huntley, even if I wasn't a super fan to take Kenny Pickett.
I tried to say it with a straight face and just couldn't.
Is it the Pro Bowl's not even in Hawaii anymore, is it?
I don't think so. It's in I think it's in somewhere in Florida, maybe. But
Are
it's
they
not
doing
even
a
a Pro
7
Bowl.
on
It's
7
just
this year for it? Is that what they're doing?
yeah, and it's like it's a skills competition and then 7-on-7.
They should.
But here's what I think. I do not want to see like a regular 7-on-7. Like I want one of the D tackles to have to be your quarterback. Like a lineman has to be your quarter. Like let's make this interesting. Like there should be a lineman 7-on-7, like where they're running routes. Like
That's what I was
if we
going to say.
really
You
want to
have the
entertain
skill
this,
players and the linemen. They both do their own 7-on-7. That'd be
I think
fire.
that'd be electric.
Yes.
You're watching all
Sick.
these like 300-pound guys like running deep routes, and then they're like, "I'm done for the play." Like they're like, "Take me out."
Yeah.
Just taking an injury, dude. It Pro Bowl's dead. I mean, that's just they need to have them play a different game. They shouldn't even be playing football. Like I'd almost rather watch NFL players play a basketball game than like that would low key be entertaining. Like if we could have the All Star game or Pro Bowl just be like the NBA All Star game, they're like, yeah, we're just doing the dunk contest, and it's just like, okay, like I would watch that over who can throw the ball into the hoop. Like that just it doesn't entertain me. I don't care that they make points for it. Like you can get points for throwing it further. I'd rather just watch Tyreek Hill at 5'9" try to dunk the 360 basketball. Like give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Let's have a radar gun out there for people like Mahomes and Russell Wilson to see if they can still clock 90.
Yes.
That'd be sick.
One time I bet the over of the Pro Bowl and it hit, and it was the most like shameful $10 bet win or bet placement I've ever had in my entire life. I was like,
what was? Do you know what the over was? Like, was it like ridiculous? Like, was it like
I think it was like 45-50, and I know they usually go in the 60s, so I was like, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Speaking of All-Star game bets, this is just kind of random. Let's all be sure not to forget to bet on the under Jimmy Butler's points this year.
Yes. It's
Why?
insane. He's like,
have you guys heard Jimmy Butler like literally stands in a corner in the All-Star game and they always give him like over under 6.5 and he just does not try every single year.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, like Jimmy Butler. There's like there are years he doesn't score at all. Like there are years he doesn't shoot. Like he literally like is there to collect a check and leave. Like he knows that he's there to get the bonus money for being on the All-Star team.
You will watch him on the court and you can just tell this dude does not give a fuck about this game. Like I'm walking the lightest jog of all time up and down the court. Like Jimmy Butler wants to play defense, dude. Like he does not like this type of game. Like
yeah, he thinks it's useless. Jimmy Butler wants to get in your face and lock you down for 48 minutes, not watch people shoot threes and then no one goes for the rebound just in case it stays in and they could shoot another three. Like that's not how Jimmy Butler plays. He hates it. You want to get into rakes and takes? We touched on it briefly earlier, but I have a very passionate take. So I'll start rakes and takes with my take. This is more personal. Like I did not realize this was personal until like I put 2 and 2 together. I've never been a fan of Jermaine Pratt. He started trash talking the Ravens before the 2020 Week 17 game, and I was very confused. Like I had to look him up at the time because he was a rookie or a second-year guy. I gained respect for him throughout this year because he played insanely well. I then immediately, all respect I earned for him went out the door the second that video of him screaming, like in reference to Joseph Asai walking into the tunnel. Like that's just poor. That's just like not how you do it as a teammate. Like if you want to like away from people, like in your car, go scream and be like, "How the f do you not do?" Like that's fine. If you want to think that, that's totally fine. But like especially like the Osai's 22, it's his second game, like second ever year. He's in like the biggest game of his life. If you take out last year's Super Bowl, which he was a rookie in, and he played insanely well. And the only reason people aren't talking about this at all, people don't understand when Patrick Mahomes broke the pocket, Joseph Asai was being blocked on the other hash and chased him down to like try to save this game. And people are like, what the hell's he doing? And like that just didn't sit right with me. So then my rake is also Joseph Asai because dude absolutely freaking balls. I wanted us to take Ravens to take him out of Texas 2 years ago. I think he's a baller, and I hope it's not with the Bengals. But when Joseph Asai finally gets to raise the Lombardi, it's going to hit different after what he just went through.
Respect.
So that's my rakes and take.
Respect. That
My
was a
rakes and
good one.
take.
That was a very good one from a Ravens fan.
Thank you.
Hayden, you want to go?
Yeah, my take. It's kind of like if Anthony Edwards isn't voted in the NBA All-Star game, like the dude is on a fucking tear. He's putting a team on his back without their other star player, and he's got them in the fifth in the West, which the West isn't as good as the East, but which is a weird thing to say out loud.
Extremely weird.
But like the kid's like 20 years old. I don't think he can drink yet, and he's dunking on people. He's dunking on the same people twice. He's putting up crazy stats. He works well with Rudy Gobert, almost better than he did with Cat. So I'm not saying trade Cat, but I'm just saying like he's putting so much on himself that I don't know. It seems like if that's not an all-star, show me what is.
Just to like not. I guess this would prove your point. I genuinely, like when you said that, forgot Karl Anthony Towns was on the Timberwolves. And that's wild because like I feel like Anthony Edwards is such the face of that franchise now. Whereas like the
100%.
previous like however many years it was Cat. Like Karl Anthony Towns was when you thought Timberwolves, it was Cat. Now without a doubt, when you think Timberwolves, it's Ant. Like Anthony Edwards is the face of that franchise. And I agree. I think he plays really well, like especially with Gobert. I also love watching him play. And like you said, if I would not, I mean, obviously, I'm not a Timberwolves fan, but if you could get something for Cat, I mean, like Cat's a really young, talented player, but if you can get more young, talented assets for him, like build around Ant, build around Ant.
So I'm saying it is like because you can't build around a big anymore. It's just the 76ers are proving that right now. And like
literally, I mean, the Pelicans with when they had Anthony Davis were going all in with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insanely. I feel like we have not seen a team genuinely win building around the big man since Dwight Howard.
Right. And like I said, like people made fun of us for the trade for Rudy Gobert. I wasn't a fan of it, but at this point, your only options if you want to get some draft capital back, because it doesn't seem we're going to be. I was big on it. I'm only going to like it as if it works like immediately, because like we don't have time to fuck around. We have guys in their youth and they exploding up. There's going to be new contracts coming in. It needs to work right away. So if it's not, which it's not, because Cat's injured, and
that's
he's going to get injured more down the road, whatever. You have to trade either Cat or Rudy to get some picks back, and you're not going to trade for Rudy when you just traded for him. And I know that like Cat has been the face of this franchise for the longest time. He was our one good player besides when we had like Zach LaVine. Like he was our one good player for the longest time. Always rep Minnesota. I mean, even though it's embarrassing that we're in Minnesota now, that clip was just like it was corny, but like it showed that he embraced like the city and shit like that. But at the same time, like it's almost like he's kind of done all he can. Like if he was gonna break, Kevin Garnett got them to the playoffs multiple times, like, with nobody around him. Cat has been good, but hasn't really been able to do much and Anthony Edwards comes around and they start making playoffs again. And like if Ant and Rudy works better than Ant and Cat, and you need to get some draft capital back, I mean, it might be time.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about that we in Minnesota thing until you just said it. It started cracking up again.
I think about it maybe once a week. I mean, it was.
What a clip, though.
I know, because like he wasn't talking shit, so his voice wasn't like as masked as it needed to be. He's just talking to a buddy, but still to say, you know, we in Minnesota now. Like, come on, dude.
That's just beautiful. You gotta love it.
And like when he like talks shit, it looks so weird. He's like, "Let's go!" I just imagine it's so high pitched, bro. Like,
it reminds me of when Trevor Lawrence talks shit. Trevor Lawrence can't talk shit. Trevor Lawrence, have you seen that thing where he gets hit and he's like, "Yeah, hit me like that. I like it." And everyone's like, "What?" What?
It's like, damn, bro.
Yeah. And they literally, like, I forget, someone on the Jaguars, like, mic'd up. They were like, I try to ignore Trevor on the field because it gets weird. Like, his is so bad. Like, he tries to, like, and it just makes that pregame speech, you know, the one I'm talking about, where he, like, turns around, he's like, okay, guys, and you think he's about to go off on this speech, and he says, like, 3 things in the most monotone voice. He's like, let's go out there and be consistent and play hard. Let's go. And you're like, are people fired up by this guy?
That's so Andy Dalton, dude. That's so Andy
That's
Dalton.
what I was just about to say, bro.
That's so Andy Dalton. It's insane.
People were like, Andy Dalton could motivate me to make a sandwich, bro.
Oh. Did you do your rake intake? Was that?
No, I haven't done my rake yet. I was going to let Cini do his take.
My take is, being a sports fan. Because I kind of hit on this earlier. It sucks. Times like this suck. And I said it before. My whole week is going to be affected off this. Just like the next 2 weeks, it's going to be like when Georgia just beat the shit out of TCU. It's going to be the whole what if the Bengals were in this game instead of the Chiefs. Super Bowl is going to hurt. Looking back, it's gonna hurt. And it's also like, yeah, we got March Madness coming up. College basketball is about to pick up, but football ending, it happens every year. It's a sad time. Just it's a long wait. It's a long off season. There's a lot of exciting moments of the off season, but when your season actually ends, like being a sports fan, yeah, it hurts, man. And I respect all the people that aren't fans out there and couldn't care less, because times like this, I wish I was one of you. Like, I really do.
The NFL offseason is one of the toughest too, I feel like, because everything happens so fast. Like, you wait so long for it to get to March 16th or whatever when free agency starts, and then it's a 2-day period, and then it's like, okay, we'll see you at the draft. And it's like, wait, people aren't going to sign anywhere. So it's like, yeah, maybe in like a month or two, but everyone knows where they won't play. Like, it's like, oh, okay. They're like, yeah, come back to us on June 1st for post June 1st cuts, and then maybe a superstar might find his way there. And then it's like they're sitting there on June 2nd, and they're like, the backup right tackle is a hot commodity after being cut this year. And it's like, that's the star we were waiting for. Like, it's like NFL ends, you wait a month and a half, free agency happens for 2 weeks. You wait a month and a half, you get 3 days of the draft. Really only one, 2.5 days are important. And then you're like, so are they going to play yet? Like, you just, at that point, it's the biggest wait after the draft. After the draft is the worst because you pretty much know your squad. You know, like, who you're going in with. And that's just like,
yeah.
So we're waiting 4 more months to do this? Like, can we go?
Well, yeah, I forgot. I had like a second take, but it was just like, there's only one more football game after this, and that sucks a lot.
We're like, technically this week, we're microdosing the offseason, if you think about it. It's the way I've been looking at it.
Yeah. And like, it's almost embarrassing how hype I get for the first, like, the Hall of Fame game. I'm like, hype. Like, I'll watch it. I don't care who's playing. I'm going to watch it. Like, that's how long that offseason feels, bro. It's like, I will get hype over a game that does not matter in a stadium that should not have NFL players in there.
You start seeing, like, that first D2, like, opening kickoff weekend thing, and you're like, oh, I'm watching this. Like, it doesn't matter. You have not heard of these two teams. You're like, oh, we're betting on this.
Dude, I got fucked up watching Austin P versus Central Arkansas, and I was able to fully dive in and get hype because Austin P's chant is "Let's go P," and then Central Arkansas, their field is purple and gray like every 10 or 5 or 10 yards, and it's sweet. So just that, I was like, let's fucking go, boys.
Let's go.
I also had a second take, and it was opening bottles of wine when you don't have a wine opener. And I know there's a lot of different methods, and a lot of you engineers out there will probably call me an idiot, but I cut 2 of my fingers trying to just get the wrapper like off of the top just to even get to the cork. So like that shit's tough, and some things are bigger than sports, and you got to think about that at the end of the day because I'm paying the price, and it's not like I bled for a solid hour and a half, and it's one of those like the really small cuts are the worst. Everyone knows this. This is a thing, and it was on my pointer finger and my thumb, and you might even still be able to see that little cut, dude. That thing was bleeding for So opening bottles of wine, shit's tough out there.
That's really strong of you, Sini. I bet you didn't even cry.
I didn't. Drank away the pain.
That's strong.
So I already did. I jumped into
I got my rake. I got my rake.
Bag.
My rake is Jazz Chisholm is the cover athlete of MLB The Show 23. I was really surprised it wasn't Julio Rodriguez. But I guess this is kind of opinionated. Is that a fucking word?
Yeah.
Opinionated?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was one of those that came out weird, sounded weird off the tongue. But Jazz Chisholm, I guess this could be opinionated. I think it's a rake because it's different. It's a young star athlete. Like I said, I was expecting J-Rod, but this is kind of cool. Like I like the young studs on the athlete. I can't. I'm really. That's kind of what I was getting at, but I'm excited for it.
His name's Jazz. Pretty cool.
Jazz Chisholm, yeah.
Yep, I don't know who that is. I thought his name's Jazz, so Jazz Chisholm is a dope name.
Well, so that's like one of the big things that like people on Twitter have been upset about is like what you just said when you were like, I've never heard of it. Like he's a very like you have to like watch baseball. Like for a baseball fan, like he's one of those young studs that you're like, this is so cool. And like he just plays the game super like cool, like always stealing stuff, going for extra bases, making highlight plays. But like you're even like the average baseball fan because he plays for the Miami Marlins. Like they're average baseball fans that don't know who Jazz Chisholm is. So like a lot of people are like, that's an interesting choice. I agree. I think Julio Rodriguez would have been dope. Next year's going to Adley or Gunner, so that's already taken.
They should have had Fernando Tatis playing it
2024 or 2020. We got Gunner and Adley for next year, and then Ellie De La Cruz will probably take over in 2025. So yeah, the next couple years are booked.
Well, yeah, and then we're just gonna have to figure out 2026.
Jazz Chisholm's also like $165 and hits like 30+ homers, so that's kind of
sick. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. He's so skinny. He literally is like, I think he's tall too. He's like 6'2". He's just a stick and just rakes.
Tatis is the one that got in trouble for gambling, right?
No, Tatis.
Steroids.
Wait, steroids.
And
motorcycle incidents that he did not tell people about.
So, dude, what if they like made like a collector's edition of like Tatis like at home making lunch, and it's like MLB no show.
Zinger.
Actually...
obviously the MLB fucking hates him right now. I'd like to make fun of him more. Yeah, highlight his ass at home, bro. Like, how'd you get this picture?
Future Oriole.
They took
Fernando Tatis.
Or Red. I've been thinking about that too. They actually took him out of the game last year after he got busted.
Yeah, which sucks because I tried to do an Orioles Tatis rebuild a few weeks ago and I was bored and was like, I can't do that anymore. I was like, I sat there looking for Fernando Tatis for an uncomfortable amount of time. Like I'm talking, this took more than 15 minutes of me still searching through the Padres, and I was like, maybe he's a free agent. Was scrolling through all the free agents. Was looking through other teams. Maybe my system was messed up. Then I looked it up, and he's out in the game.
Dude, that's crazy they kicked him off for that because, like, I'm almost positive in, like, Madden 09, you could build, like, a franchise with, like, Hall of Fame players. You could have O.J. Simpson as your running back. I'm almost positive.
No, I know exactly what year you're talking about because,
Yeah.
you could, like, build a yes, because I used to do
Yeah,
that.
like Dan Marino quarterback and O.J. as your running back or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Times have changed.
Yeah.
You can get away with murder, but you cannot do steroids.
Yeah. Different companies, too. They probably have different, like, whatever.
If you're going to stab somebody, it better be someone else, not yourself.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson's innocent also, so, like.
Yeah, that's
true.
Like, yeah, so why would you want him? Why do you want him out of the game? I'm confused.
Why would you? My favorite is him saying that
he did this really fucked up thing where he broke into this like auction and stole a bunch of his own memorabilia. So I just kind of really messed up for him to do.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he went to prison for it.
My favorite.
I want him out the game now too.
My favorite quote is when he talks about how he doesn't like going out in LA because he feels like the murderer could be like sitting amongst him, and they're like, "This guy's just the best." They're like, "He's
he was like, I have the chance of seeing the killer, never knowing it." And Shannon Sharp's like, "I have a feeling you see the killer every day, Bucko."
It's too good.
I like when he makes a post on Twitter and he'll be like, I have had a wonderful morning. OJ here. I have made some toast and
hey, Twitter world, yours truly.
Yeah, hello, Twitter world. And it's always like a selfie of him on the golf cart playing like golf.
The most like dad angle where it's like this close to his face and like slightly angled.
Yeah.
I truly imagine like I've thought about this before. What if he actually is innocent? Like, if he truly lives his life believing, like, being like, I don't know why people hate, like, I'm literally innocent. Like, he's like, I don't know what people are saying. Like, that would be the craziest, like, if on, like, when you die, you get, like, a list of, like, lies that have been told, and on it, you're like, OJ was actually innocent. I'd drop the paper. I'd be like, oh my God. I'd be like, you got me. I was like,
Yeah.
I'd have to shake that man's hand. I'd have to shake his hand.
With some isotoners.
And then me and him were gonna go find the killer.
Yeah, yeah. All right, my rakes. I say rakes because I have two. One's kind of quick. One's a little more elongated. First rake is Marshall basketball. I know we just lost a heartbreaker in double overtime, but Tavion Kinsey's dropping like 24 points a game. Him and Andy Taylor are crazy good, like 1 and 2, like firing off each other. We always get some random fucking Eastern European from what used to be Yugoslavia just hitting threes and getting all the boards and dunking all the time. Like, I don't know where they find these players from, but I love them. And Anna Chili Killen is having a season like unlike I did not expect him to be this good this year.
Yeah.
Like the herd is doing great. Yes, we lost a double overtime heartbreaker, but then we dropped 40.
We just dropped 103. We just dropped 103 last
Right,
game.
yeah. We beat Georgia Southern by 40 almost. Like we can make a deep run in the tournament. There's nothing more than I want. Like I'll trade. This is how much I want it. I would rather have I would accept the Steelers going 1-16 or whatever it is next fall if that meant Tavion Kinsey and Marshall played in 2 NCAA tournament games. And by say 2, like winning the first one, crazy upset. Oh my goodness! And then they lose the next one because the Cinderella season's over.
It's possible.
Just because
possible.
Tavion
they're built for it. They're
bro.
built for it because of Tavion.
Yeah, he needs to have that experience on like the national stage.
And I believe it's like one of those things where like you always almost like a John Morant at why am I blanking on where I literally have his jersey from here. Yes, Murray State. I want to say Morehead State.
Same state.
So like, yeah. Murray, so I literally was like, it's kind of like with John, like you can win games in the tournament because you have one guy who's just better than everyone else on the court. Like in the NCAA tournament, if you just don't mess up and you have the guy who can go out there and score you 30 like Marshall does, you can upset anyone. And you really can. And if they win their the Sun Belt, I would assume they're going to be like a 14, 13 seed. Like
Yeah, anywhere from like 12 to 14 were projected.
yeah, like I would love to grab if we were the 12-5 over. That it's done. But I think more realistically we'd be the 13 or 14-3, 13-4 game.
Yeah.
I'd take 13-4.
Yeah.
Don't let the herd get
my other rake that's like kind of not more serious because it's kind of funny in two different ways. But it's like I love Shannon Sharp. I think Shannon Sharp is like one of the best personalities on like sports talk because he's not afraid to stand up to Skip Bayless and put him in his place. He drinks Hennessy and smokes Black and Milds on TV, and he like no one cares. It's like, oh, that's just Uncle Shannon. It's sweet. They call him Unc. Every athlete. No, he has his own brother. He doesn't call him Unc. Every other athlete calls Shannon Sharp Uncle. Like he's universally loved. He's like Snoop Dogg can smoke weed. Everyone's like, that's just Snoop Dogg. Shannon Sharp can smoke a Black and Mild and drink Hennessy and has his own Hennessy line. Everyone's like, that's just Shannon. But like him going off on the Memphis Grizzlies, like not one person, but the entire team, except for when Steven Adams came over, he was like, all right, I'm heading out.
He really did, though. I've watched replays. He stood up to Adams pretty well. He definitely like somewhat stepped down, but like I would too.
Yeah, so he fought the whole team basically. He even had comments like, well, first I was talking to Dylan Brooks, and he didn't want nothing. And then I was talking to Desmond Bain, and he for sure didn't want nothing. And then John Moran's dad came over, and I was for sure he didn't want nothing.
Moran is just like the tiniest human too. Like he's so skinny. Like I was like, why would you even attempt to go to Shannon Sharp?
Right. But like that's not even my rake. My rake is explaining all this. And then I don't know if you guys see the apology he like spouted on his show. It was the best apology. Because like you can tell that he really did mean it, but like he covered everyone that could have been offended. And I mean he was spot on too.
He talked to his future grandchildren, hoping that they like will see that video. Like, that was really cool.
Apologized to the Grizzlies for doing that. Apologized to his own family, saying like I made my family look bad, and then my mom, my brother, my future kids. LeBron, like you had to take my side because you're my boy, even when I was in the wrong. Like I appreciate that. Like it was a great apology. I can give Skip Bayless credit for letting him actually speak and not interrupting. But I mean, yeah, it was a fantastic apology. So fuck yeah, Shannon Sharp, you are just a 10 out of 10 guy.
I agree. I saw that. Actually, I think he's like sent it to us or something. But like that was one of those like he handles it so well.
Yeah.
Like he knows his position like in sports. Yeah. Like you said, like everyone calls him like he knows how much he's looked up to. And I think he said really well when he started it off. He's like, the story should have been Shannon Sharp is at the game. Like it should have just been a mention that like he was there. He was like, it should not have been a story of what he did. He was like, so that was really cool. I agree. Yeah. There were some good rakes and takes today. I'm proud of us. We did well. Well, all right. Hayden's Corner. What we got today?
All right. It's a little quick, guy. There's a dude back in the 1800s, 19th century. His name's Angelo Mariani. Angelo Mariani. He was a 19th century French chemist and winemaker. And his most popular wine he ever made was called, let me try to find it, Vino Tonique Mariani. And it was so popular because for every fluid ounce of the wine, there were 7 milligrams of cocaine. Now you got to think, this is back in the 1800s where cocaine was used for everything. Like every drug that's horrible for us now at one point was like, oh, opium will make your baby stop crying. It also won't cry ever again. Like cocaine was like to stop nosebleeds and cure or not insomnia, but cure fatigue, things like that. So it was in a lot of different shit. One of his biggest and probably his most famous clients, someone that loved this wine, drank it all the time, said it was like he recommended it to everybody, said you should drink this. It's like magic juice. Was Pope Leo the 13th. He would be on posters for advertisements for this wine. He gave Angelo Mariani, and that's so stereotypical. He gave Angelo Mariani a Vatican gold medal for this cocaine wine that he had made. He gave it to everybody. He like made stops in different
Imagine
countries.
your plug is so good. Your plug is so good. You give him that's a real.
Yeah,
That Pope's
bro.
a real one. That Pope's a
Oh.
real one.
He's the only plug to ever get a Vatican medal. And then he would give it to like everybody he came into contact with. Thomas Edison said the wine helped him invent a bunch of things because he was up for nights, like inventing instead of sleeping. Ulysses S. Grant used it to write his final memoirs before he died. Like, dude, this wine was so popular, and everyone was just getting high as shit on cocaine.
That is incredible. When I guess like when he died, did they stop making it? Like what?
So,
I guess, what do they still sell this cocaine wine? Is kind of what I'm getting at. Are they still like this is awkward, but we're gonna still sell this? Like,
so Pope Leo the 13th died, and I'm pretty sure the next Pope really liked it too, but he wasn't like sucking off Angelo as much as the first guy was. And then like cocaine started like showing to be very addictive and very like catastrophic. And I think when the like slowly laws broke down, you couldn't include it in this. It should only be for medicine.
Yeah.
So you can't use medicine for this, and that's like nothing at all.
Yeah. Big win for plugs, big L for cocaine in the long run.
Big L for the
just
Catholic
knew
Church. Don't they look silly?
You know what's crazy? That is so far from the worst thing the Catholic Church has ever done.
I know. I was about to jokingly say this is probably the worst scandal to ever rock the Catholic Church.
like the Catholic Church was just giving Vatican medals to just cocaine suppliers, and people are like, "That's so far down the list of things we gotta get right there." Like they're like,
it's like if the Pope was high on coke. We could take care of that later. We got bigger fish to fry.
They're like, there is a lot more going on right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was a hell of a way to end it. That's actually, I'm going to start bringing that up places. That was good.
Go see Cocaine Bear in theaters in February.
February 24th. I'm so excited.
I can't wait. I gotta watch it. It is a nonsense. It is a nonsense movie that is just for bros. Like that's the target audience.
It's literally gonna be such a stupid movie. It's gonna be awesome.
I cannot wait.
I'm so excited.
Super Mario movie comes out April 7th. I don't know about you guys, but I am fucking stoked for that.
Jack Black being Bowser's fire.
Right. Yes, it is. It's gonna be awesome.
Well,
more importantly, go like and subscribe on our YouTube to all the videos and follow us on Twitter for future giveaways.
Yep, we got stuff coming out daily at this point. If your team is on the Super Bowl February 5th, you can watch the greatest defense of all time, Bullies of Baltimore, ESPN 30 for 30. RIP Siragusa. That's actually,
Super Bowl. Isn't the Super Bowl at 12?
Yeah, Super Bowl's at 12. But February 5th is when it comes out. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all I look forward to these days. Now that Tyler Huntley's a Pro Bowl quarterback, I gotta
get the fuck out of here, bro.
All I'm saying,
future Hall of Famer. Maybe you'll figure out how to quarterback sneak in the Pro Bowl.
They should have a court if they had Tyler Huntley compete in the long jump contest. I think that would be hysterical.
That would be.
They should have like a diving contest into a pool.
Off the back of the diving board.
Freestyle diving board competition. Give him like a yard marker he has to reach.
It's blatantly just 2 yards. It's blatantly just 2 yards.
All right, I'm out of here.
Awesome.
All right, y'all.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace.